Hi, I'm Jenny Robertson, founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. Welcome to Connections Over Coffee. Whether you're here with us live on Zoom, joining us on Facebook, or watching later on YouTube, I'm glad you're here. This is your time to slow down, fill up, and connect with other heart-centered women who are making a difference in the world. I'm blessed to have one of those women with me today. Laura DiFranco is here to speak on storytelling versus selling. Success strategies, try saying that really fast. Strategies for world changers. Laura is the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, including Brave Kids Books and Brave Business Books. She's an award-winning publisher for holistic health, wellness, and business professionals. Her mission? To help the world experience what's possible. Her background includes 30 years in holistic physical therapy, 14 published books, and a third-degree black belt. Brave Healer, with its global community of over 3,000 authors, has published 100 Amazon best-selling titles. And you can find out more about Laura at lauradifranco.com, and that link is also in the text of this video. Laura, thank you so much for being here to share your wisdom with us today. Look forward to what you're going to say.
Thank you, Jenny. All right, you guys, if you knew that your story could change a life, would you worry about it being good enough, or would you worry about sharing it more? So I think it's the second thing, right? I want to share a story with you today. I grew up in California, was born in San Francisco, and grew up with my family in Marin County, California. And I lived in California my entire life, all the way through grad school, which for me was physical therapy school. So I am a retired physical therapist, and I did that for 30 years. Well, when I hit grad school, we had an internship that we had to set up for graduation. It was the last thing that we had to do to graduate. It was 6 months full time. And there was an opportunity to travel if we set that up for ourselves. Well, at the time, I met this guy, and he happened to live on the East Coast. So I researched internships and ended up at the National Rehabilitation Hospital in Washington, D.C. I moved across the country from everything that I knew, my family, everybody, to be with this guy and do my internship. And it was a really great reason to move and finish my schooling. And I never went home. So much to my family's dismay, right? I'm now living a country apart for about 35 years when I get a call from my sister, and she told me, hey, me and her boyfriend at the time were moving to the East Coast. The boyfriend's family had a terminally ill family member, and they wanted to be closer. And hey, we're moving. And guess what? Mom's coming too. So my mom heard that my sister was moving across the country closer to where I lived for the last 30 years. And mom's like, I'm not staying here. You guys aren't leaving me, right, behind with nobody. So about 4 years ago now, my mom moved away from everything she ever knew, all of her friends, her job, her family, all the community, and moved to the East Coast so that she could be close to my sister and I, and close to me after 35 years of being apart. She is an amazing woman. She signed up to write a children's story in one of our books and started to get involved in Brave Healer Productions. She's an amazing writer and an amazing children's story writer. She did 2 of those. Actually, maybe it's 3 stories in our series. She started to make new friends. She joined On Purpose Women. She met Ginny. She made some friends in this community. She picked up some proofreading work from me. She was still in her job as a real estate appraiser, but moving to Maryland from California means you kind of lose all your business. So that was a bit of a thing for her too. She made the decision to retire and just retired this past year to follow a passion that she had to raise awareness about child trafficking after her work in Cambodia over the last 5 years. So my mom went on mission trips to Cambodia to serve children in the rescue center there. And when she came back from that, shared with us, shared her experiences. She basically said, I vow to raise awareness about this. And guess what, Laura? I want to write a book about it. And in case you haven't seen the book that she just published this week, here it is, Called to Serve, Standing with Survivors and Protecting Children Still at Risk. So love you, Mom. And I am so proud of you for publishing your book this week. So what daughter gets to say, I published my 79-year-old mom's first solo authored book and helped her leave a legacy in the world that is also part of my legacy through books, through stories? Who gets to say that? I do. Like, whoa, it's amazing to me. This is a story that I hope moves you, helps inspire you, and gives you the idea that it is never too late to do something new, something different, something scary as heck, like move across the country, make new friends, or check off a big ass bucket list event like writing your book. 79. Her birthday is Saturday, by the way, you guys. So, stories boost memory by up to 22 times. Research shows people are 22 times more likely to remember a message when it's delivered as a story instead of plain facts. I love that stat, right? Story-based messages can increase conversions by 30% or more. So if you're a brand that switches to a narrative-driven marketing, like storytelling consistently, you're going to see conversion. Stories, why? Stories activate emotion, and that is your buyer's actual decision center in their brain. And then the last little statistic is storytelling activates as many as 7 brain regions at once. So a fact alone hits the language center, and a story lights up sensory, motor, and emotional areas, making that buyer not just understand the offer, but feel it. And people buy based on feelings. So if you're not sharing your stories, you are missing out. Stories, right? Our number one job as a writer is to help our reader feel something. And it gets more exciting as you think about some of these statistics for storytelling. So today, I want to give you lots of fun ideas. I want to give you tons of ideas about what stories you could be telling. And I'm going to start by asking you some questions that you can answer for yourself. What story do you need to tell to heal yourself? We talked about this in the meeting a little bit today. What's the story you just need to prioritize for yourself? You just need to get it out of you. You just need to move the energy. I write to feng shui my soul first. So there was a whole entire book that I wrote because I needed to write the stories for nobody else to read. And that is a whole story in and of itself. Some of you have heard me tell the story about NaNoWriMo, the National Novel Writing Month of November. And I wrote 65,000 words of a book that nobody read. That's a lot of words, right? I needed to get that stuff out. Here's another question. What story does your ideal client need you to share to help her not feel alone? What's the story in you That's also her story. And now all of a sudden, because you were brave to tell it, they are like, oh, wow, that's my story too. She's so brave. Maybe I can be brave, right? What story helps us as your audience understand where you've been and what you've done, helping us to know, love, and trust you as our coach, our teacher, whatever we're hiring you for, healer? What's that story that you haven't shared yet that helps us understand and trust you? Like where you've been, what you've been through, what's you've had to overcome to get to doing what you're doing today. And then lastly, it's kind of combined with that one, but what's the story that's personal, vulnerable, and real? The authentic story, right? You're not dancing around it. You're going to meet us where we are with that story. The story you may still be just a little bit afraid to share. Because why? Well, we have a whole bunch of things in our mind about why we shouldn't be sharing that story. It's too much for people. TMI, right? Maybe we're afraid to offend or hurt somebody, right? A story involves other people. So that will paralyze a writer faster than anything. Those real stories, you know, what's so funny is the thing I hear so often is like, oh, my story isn't bad enough. It's not tragic enough. Nobody's going to really be interested in this boring story. What? Like your story could be about the best thing that's ever happened to you, a magical moment. And we have this idea that it always has to be about the tragedy or the pain. But joy, there's purpose in joy just as intensely as there's purpose in pain. Doesn't matter. So those are some questions to help you figure out what kinds of stories maybe you could start to tell. And I'm going to give you a few more ideas. What's the origin story of your current situation or business? Have you all shared your origin story? Is it written anywhere? Do you have it on social? Have you written a blog sort of introducing your origin story to the world? A lot of the times we get into our business and we get a few years down the road and we realize, oh my gosh, I haven't even told them how this all started. Those are fun stories to share, you guys, right? I think I was a sophomore in high school, I saw on our career center board that there was going to be a physical therapist speaking that day at our lunch and learn career center. And I signed up to hear her talk and listened to her talk that day. And man, she was so passionate, so excited about what she did as a physical therapist. That was the day I made the decision for my whole career. That's what I was going to do. And I signed up to volunteer at a clinic. I went to physical therapy school, became a therapist, and did that for 30 years. That woman inspired me that day, right? That is one of my origin stories. That's a cool story, right? Like, think back. How did you even get to doing what you're doing today? Here's another idea for you. What's the why? What's your why? The real reason you do what you do, right? I think we can all have many why stories. So I don't think this has to be the one why. You've got a lot of reasons, a lot of whys behind you. And the reason I want you to get to your why is because typically your why will make you cry. Your why will make you feel something. So when you're writing your why story and that emotion is there, you remember what I said a few minutes ago? Your job is to make me feel something. So if you aren't feeling anything, I'm not going to be feeling anything. So get to your deeper why. Take some breaths and feel it in your body. Is this the why that you really want to express? Right. And some of you have heard one of my why stories, the Shirley story back in 2016. A total stranger reached out. We had an interaction. We became friends. And through this entire time with this stranger, trying to help her with giving her some ideas about self-care, I was throwing her some blog links to help her because she told me she was a mother of 5 and she had been depressed and all these things. I found out way later, after we had developed a relationship, that she had been planning the suicide note she'd write to her husband and 5 kids. You guys have heard me share that why story many times. That story still burns in me. And it's how I created the opening line of this talk. If you knew your story could change or even save a life, would you worry about it being good enough? Or would you worry about it sharing it more? Surely is the reason for that statement, right? What's your why? You'll have several why stories. Bullet list some of them right now, okay? Tell me a story of a moment when you had an aha about your life, your business, your purpose, or anything that relates to what you do now, business owners, right? When was the aha? When was the transformation? When was the pivotal moment? Was there somebody involved? Give me the dialogue of that story. Get me to feel it. Don't just tell me about your aha moment. Help me feel it. Show it to me, right? Give me the dialogue. Give me the inner thoughts of that aha moment. I had a poet reach out to me on Facebook, somebody that I knew pretty well way back when I started writing poetry. You guys heard about the story about Ginny finding a poem and asking if she could publish it. Well, this woman reached out and said, Laura, I really would love for you to come be a featured poet at Busboys and Poets. And I've got this opening in August. And would you do this? Would you want to do this? And again, I was like, whoa, I guess I have to start calling myself a poet. I guess I'm good enough. If she's going to ask me, right? Same with Ginny. If she's going to ask me to publish my poem, if she's going to ask me to be a featured poet on the stage, that was a moment for me. Like I drove home from that thing and I pushed that button and called my mom. Mom, they want me to do this, right? Like these are your moments where you're having a feeling moment. What are those stories, y'all? Write some ideas down for yourself. Share yourself with us, right? What was a moment when you turned pain into purpose? So this is tough. This is going to immediately bring you into your body and feeling something. After my daughter sent her abuser to prison for 10 years, I herniated 2 discs in my back and worked lying on the floor for 9 months. The universe gifted me with a new level of patience, but also through my daughter, understanding when we must fight the fight for ourselves, but also for people who can't. You guys, when was a moment in your life where you turned a painful moment into purpose? That is a story that is going to catch people in the heart and help them get to know, love, and trust you. Last idea. Tell me a story about a moment that relates to what you do for people now. Okay. So one of those stories, partially it's your why, partially it's your passion, partially it could be an origin story. Like this could be a combo. I woke up on March 20th of 2020. Everyone's going to have the COVID stories, right? And I was dreaming this dream and it was like, Laura, get your healers together. We need to know what to do at home right now. And I heard this message. I was half awake and I walked to my laptop and I typed the invitation into a little group I was teaching on Facebook. And I said, you guys, we need to write this book. Who wants to write a chapter? We're going to teach self-healing tools to the world. We're going to get them all in one book. 48 hours after I wrote the invitation, 24 people said, yeah, I'll write a chapter. Let's do it. And 5 weeks after that, the first expert collaboration for Brave Healer Productions was born. 5 weeks after that. That is a cool story. What is a story that relates to what you're doing that you just, it's like we run so fast all day long with what we're doing. We don't even remember to tell these stories, right? These crazy, amazing, powerful, emotional stories. So which one of the ideas, if you're jotting them down today, evokes the most passion or emotion from you? Out of the ideas that I've been suggesting, when you look at your notebook, make a circle around the one that you can feel it. You feel it in your body. Which one has the most emotion or passion? That's the one to start telling. Okay. Take that idea and write it out tonight, or record it and have it transcribed, and you can edit it later. That's the easy button, right? Use that for your next talk, your next blog, your next newsletter, your next social post. Let people get to know you. If I line up 10 coaches and I'm trying to make a decision about who to hire for myself, it will be the one who was brave enough to tell me a real story about themselves, the one who got personal and made me feel like they understand where I am at. That's the person I'm going to hire. It is what's missing across the board from all of the business owners that I see out there trying to sell their stuff. It's the personal stories. That's what sells the stuff. You're going to allow me to get to know you and trust you. So if you're missing personal story, you're missing out on the ability to, most powerful ability you have to sell. Story is the difference, and it's the one that makes you unique. It's the reason people will buy from you. Share your stories, you guys. So for those who are ready to write this year, I hope you'll join us. We're going to do Write Your Brave Book 2026. It's a year-long program. I'm going to begin with 3 months of prep business sessions for the book. We're going to talk about clarity on which book you're writing, your platform, and then we're going to follow that with 9 months of weekly writing all year together. Some of the last year's participants worked on a book, but others used the sessions for regular content creation to craft blogs, newsletters, social content. So it's really the community that is the most powerful thing. And if you guys have questions about that, I hope you'll come find me. Jenny, let's wrap it up here and we'll get to our Q&A next.
Okay. Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much. And I would like to ask those of you who are still hanging out with us here, if you could unmute yourselves and let's just give Laura some applause and some yay.
Yay, thank you.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you. Oh gosh, Laura, I've heard you speak so many times. And I don't know, you just did something different this time. Again, you always over deliver. That's the one constant thing I'd say about Laura DiFranco. She always over delivers. And let me just say that I did join your Write Your Brave book last year. 4 months in, my husband had a horrific car crash and was incapacitated for 6 months. So I really didn't get to take advantage of it as much as I would have normally. And I've joined up for this year because the price is absolutely unreal. For everything that you get from Laura, the price is amazing.
Well,
So,
my
Laura, I'm going to wrap this up
gift.
and
Yeah, my gift to you
yes.
guys, which I didn't put on our recording purposefully because I wanted you guys here to have it, is you
I haven't
can.
turned off the recording yet.
Oh, okay. Oopsie.
Yeah, I got ahead of
Okay.
myself. I got ahead of myself a little bit. I do want to just like end this officially. So I want to thank anyone who's watching this, who was with us on Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more involved in the On Purpose Woman Global community and visit us for future connections, gatherings, you can go to my website, opwgc.com. Also, while you're there, check out On Purpose Woman magazine. Thanks again for watching and stay tuned for next time.